This is the third and final installment of the teacher website tutorial. And for this final installment, I want to cover some of the details while also providing a sample workflow example of how integration between our teacher websites, Google Calendar, and Infinite Campus could look. This idea would be something that we could all implement to have a consistent way of storing our files and sharing assignments so that parents, students, and other teachers and crew leaders would be able to intervene more effectively if assignments are missing or intervention work needs to be done. So where we start is by actually writing up the assignment. So let's say in our Google Drive, I'm in my 6th grade folder, quarter 1, and what I have here is my Writer's Workshop Personal Narrative Museum. Now, throughout the course of the unit, we're going to continually add to this folder. This will have all the scaffolding, daily assignments, any resources that will help students work towards this large project. This is a significant part of quarter 1, so it's something that we know about right away when school starts. That's constantly on their radar. So what I have here is the Personal Museum Narrative document, and what this is the assignment 1 sheet that describes it, as well as the rubric. So the final project rubric will be on the back here. If you already have this in Microsoft Word or a similar document, you could always upload it there, or you can create it from scratch like we talked about in the first video here. So once you have the Personal Museum Narrative sheet, go to Share, and it's going to generate a link. This is, of course, an absurdly long link that you would never remember, but I'd like for you to copy it, and then you have that stored on your clipboard. The second step after you've created the assignment, and again, this can be a worksheet, this can be a multiple choice test, this can be anything that's going to be a major project. Once you've created that in Google Drive, what the kids will get, then you also want to create the assignment in Infinite Campus as soon as you know when it's going to be available so it can be on the radar of students and parents. A frequent kind of comment that we've gotten has been that a lot of assignments don't go in until the end of the quarter, and since we are a project-based school, that does happen. However, if we're able to get stuff in a month or two in advance, if we know there's going to be a big project, that way we can at least get the big stuff in. So what we want to do when we create a new project is to go up to the name, and we'll type in Personal Museum Narrative. And we want to be really, really deliberate about having the same title for the assignment as we have in our Google Drive, so that it's really crystal clear to everybody that the Personal Museum Narrative is this, is this, is this. So Personal Museum Narrative, you can do your own sort of whatever you choose to do for your shortcut. So you've got that. Now, unfortunately, I don't have access to the current year of campus, so just pretend that what I'm doing right now is typing in the due date of 10/31/2014. You'll probably have to press show here to get into this additional information, but once you have that, you want to paste in the link. So again, this is the link to this document. They can copy this from campus and then paste it into their browser, and they'll be brought to the document so that they know exactly what this assignment is. And then you'll save it. So you've got this built in Google Drive, so they know where the assignment is. You've got it built in Campus with the due date, so they know exactly when it's due and how many points it's worth. And then the final step would be to add this to your calendar. So in your Google Drive, you can go into your calendar here, and it'll default to kind of a weekly view of this week. You could also do monthly or daily. Now, I know that this is going to be due on October 31st. So let's go to October 31st. There it is. So you can either go create and do October 31st this way and type in the event, or I'm just going to discard that, or you can double click on the date and then it'll bring you to this. Again, you want this to have the same title, Personal Museum Narrative. Due. Okay, so make that due. It's 10/31. It's an all-day event. And then for a description, again, you should still have that link on your clipboard, so you can paste the link in there. And then one thing that's helpful for us as teachers is if we can put in the description when they'll receive feedback in campus. So if I know that this is a major assignment, it's due October 31st, I can be realistic and say feedback provided November 14th. Oh, not 114th, November 14th. So that gives us two weeks to get things into the gradebook so that they're able to get feedback and make revisions as they need, but it also gives us a little bit of cover for us to say, well, we will get the feedback in by this date. That's on the calendar. It'll prevent a lot of questions about when will this feedback come in, why haven't we gotten this back yet, and also give us a deadline so that we're kind of compelled to get this done in a timely manner as well. So you have that. The other thing that I should mention too is that if you are teaching multiple grades and multiple preps, which I think is the reality for all of us, what you may want to do in the beginning is also type in 6, personal museum narrative due, and then save. So you'll see that on the calendar, and let's take a look at how that looks on our teacher websites. So let's refresh here. So here's our teacher website, and they can go forward, look through the months ahead, and then they see 6th grade personal museum narrative. And then if parents or students click on that, they'll see feedback provided. They know it's due Friday, October 31st. And if they need more information and they don't know what the assignment is, they can copy that description, paste it into their browser, and then they'll get a link. Now this system would be something that would most likely be used only for large projects or perhaps target dates. If you know that that personal museum narrative is due on the 31st, then maybe you'd want to put in on the 17th, 6th, personal museum narrative rough draft due. So then you can see going through there, and refresh that again, what does that look like on the website? Oops, we'll go to October. You can see that there's this step that's in there and this step. So with major projects, you may want to put targets in. It seems unrealistic for us to be able to upkeep this sort of system with all daily work. So I think that major projects, learning target assessments would be the only realistic way that we could maintain this level of communication and cohesiveness in the system. And then the last cool thing that students and parents could do is they could add the calendar. They could add then these things to their own calendar. So if they have their own agenda, their own iCal, they can copy to their own calendar that way, and then it would bring up, so then they would know it. So a couple different options that we have, but this is one possible way that we can make all of these things work together. So give it a shot, see what you think, and get back to me with any feedback. Thanks.